Hello everybody, this is GamePro24X, and today we're going to be looking at the ring system in Oneechanbara Origins. So the concept is really simple. Each ring will give you a certain benefit or negative, depending on what it is. But something people may or may not know is that if you match two of the same ring on a character, you will actually double stack the same bonus. But another interesting thing that I'm sure nobody knows about is that any ring that gives you a negative debuff will only apply once. So if you put on a ring that gives you negative defense and you put on two of them, that will only apply once. However, if you gave yourself a ring that gives you plus defense, it will apply twice if you apply it to two different characters. Also, the second character does not have to be in the field. You could easily slap on a ring on the third character that's not in use right now to greatly benefit one of the characters that you're currently using in the field. So definitely utilize that when you unlock all three characters. So the first ring is simple. It's Ring of Reinforcement, which gives you more health. For one ring, you get about 25% more health, and with two rings, you get about 35% more health. Ring of Protection offers more defense. So what I did is I went to practice mode and I allowed a cop zombie to shoot me because every time they shoot you, it is a consistent damage hit. And I also set him to be on beast difficulty so that way you can see the maximum damage potential that you could be mitigating. So one ring gives 33% more protection and two rings gives you 43%. So Ring of No Limits is interesting. So you heal health per second. However, it's not equal. So with one ring, you'll heal 7 points of health on the first tick, and then 6 for the remaining 3, and then it'll repeat itself all over again. And having two rings will double that, but it's in reverse. So the first 3 ticks, you'll get 12 health, while the final 4th tick, you'll get 11, and then the process repeats. So I'm not sure why it's like this, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting to note. Ring of the Baneful increases how much splatter you gain to go into Berserk mode. However, I never really felt a difference, but I will jot down the negative that it gives you, which is negative defense. So this is how much health you lose if you get shot by a cop zombie on beast difficulty. So Ring of Blood Sucking works as if you're in ecstatic mode, but just on a weaker extent. So every time you hit an enemy, you will heal an X amount of health. So with one ring, you will always heal 4 health, no matter what attack you're doing, and no matter what bonuses you have. Like if you give yourself more damage and whatnot, that will not affect how much HP you will gain. So this is purely affected by how many hits you can do. And with 2 rings, it'll double the effect, so you will gain 8 HP per hit. So the key to this is you want to use a character that has very fast hitting attacks, because again, it does not matter how much strength you have. The only thing that matters is how many hits you can land on the enemy. So the quicker you can land hits, the faster you will regen health. And this is a very great ring to switch out, especially during survival mode when you need to heal up in a character and you don't have the ability to on that moment. Ring of Ecstasy allows you to passively regen your ecstasy bar while you're in or out of combat. So obviously with one ring it's very weak, but with 2 rings you'll be able to regen your ecstasy bars pretty quick. Ring of Quickness allows you to run faster, and it really does show. So here is an example of all 3 cases of it. Ring of Blood Clot Suppression reduces how much blood you gain on your sword, and is a pretty significant buff to that. Ring of Rebellion increases parrying time while reducing health. Now, it was practically impossible for me to quantify how much of a benefit it gives you with the parrying. I know it does work, it's very difficult to tell when on each frame you parried easier or not. So there's really not much I can do for that. However, I will show the negative debuff, which is you get less defense while wearing the ring. Now, here's something I didn't even notice or pick up on until I started doing research for this video. So, when it comes to the rings, whenever you attach a ring that has a positive or negative debuff, you'll see how it affects your actual stats on the stat bar here. And something that I noticed is that when you put on Ring of Rebellion, it shows that you lose like a little bit of defense compared to the other ring, Ring of the Baneful. It says that you lose a lot of defense. However, when you go back and look at the numbers between Rebellion and Baneful, it's actually the opposite. Ring of Baneful, you lose less health than you do with Ring of Rebellion. So I thought that was an interesting little like quirk when it comes to that. So when it comes to this particular case, this is the only case in the game. The stats do lie to you. Ring of Bloodclaw Acceleration gives you a lot of attack at the cost of your weapon getting more bloodier. And here's the example of the debuff only applying once. Even though you're putting on 2 rings, it does not double stack the debuff, but it will double stack the positive. Ring of Technique allows you to do your cool combos a lot easier. So basically it increases the little blue bar there whenever you do an attack. So I am going to demonstrate every single example with each ring. But yeah, it's a very useful ring, and I sometimes use it pretty often whenever I don't feel like trying that hard when it comes to timing my attacks. Ring of Hits extends the duration of the hit timer while decreasing your attack. So attaching just one ring alone already significantly gives you a big benefit, but 2 of them will greatly extend it. So Ring of Severance is by far one of the most underutilized ring that so far as I can tell, because I didn't really think it was that useful until I started doing testing with this. So what it does is it increases the chances that you're going to sever a limb from a zombie. And the great way for me to test this is doing this on beast mode on a level. Now, every time I do a cool finisher, sometimes it'll kill an enemy, and most of the time it'll just hurt them and put them in a stun state. However, the second I put on just one ring, whenever I do the cool finisher, I actually start to kill more zombies with it on. And I think I understand why. Is because once you slice off enough limbs of a zombie, they're dead. It doesn't matter if they had a lot of health or not. If you just cut off all of their main limbs, which is the head and both arms, that's it. They die. So when you increase those odds, you effectively increase your kill time. And you'll see this even more when you put on just 2 rings. Putting on 2 rings practically guarantees the enemy will die with your cool finishers. And this is on Beast difficulty. Beast difficulty, enemies have way more health and such. So the fact that this is allowing me to kill them a lot faster over just straight up attack rings is really significant. And in all honesty, I actually substituted one of my attack rings with this, and I noticed like similar results in terms of kill times compared to just using 2 of those attack rings. So I would use Ring of Herculean Strength and Ring of Bloodclaw Acceleration, except I can take off Acceleration and still have the same benefit of the quick kill time. So yeah, I definitely urge you to try out this ring. Now, on an individual level, it's pretty hard to kind of test this effectively because it really just depends on where you hit. So in this example, I have no rings attached for this, and I was able to kill this fat zombie with 16 strikes on Beast difficulty. However, right here with just 1 ring, I was able to slice them in half. But here's the thing though, this test right here that you're looking at, this is the same exact test with just 1 ring, and well, look what happens. See, I didn't cut him in half in 10 hits. So yeah, it's really hard to test this on an individual basis, but it was a lot easier to demonstrate that when fighting a group of enemies using cool finishers, because at the very least, I saw consistent results when it came to that. But nonetheless, do not underestimate the power of the Severance ring. It really does increase the kill time. The only time I would ever say to take off the ring is during a boss fight, because during boss fights, you really don't remove limbs, so there's kind of no benefit to it. you might as well just go up for straight up damage or defense. And the last ring we're going to look at, Ring of Fainting, increases how much damage you do when you do a melee attack or a parry. I feel it's actually better for me to demonstrate this with boss fights. So here is Obero on Beast difficulty, and on Beast difficulty his stun meter, or all bosses' stun meters, are a lot more higher. So with no rings it took 7 parries to put him in a stun state. With just 1 ring, I can now put Obero into a stun state with just only 6 parries as opposed to 7. So that's pretty significant because that's a much easier time to get some free damage. And of course, when you attach 2 rings of fainting, it will bring that down to 5 parries total. At least for that specific attack. I don't know if it's for all attacks, but yeah, for that specific attack, if I parry it 5 times, he will be put in a stun state, and that is some free damage. So I urge anybody who is doing boss fights to put this ring on. It is really worth it, especially if you know a boss's attack patterns and know how to properly parry them. I also do have to mention that while it does also hurt enemies with your melee attacks, for some reason with Saki it does not work with her fist type weapons, which makes no sense because technically that is a melee weapon, but according to the game they're only applying the kicks as a melee weapon and anything else is not. So that's really lame, and to be honest, that would have been a great combo for Saki and her fist style. Now, while I don't have footage of this actually combos very well with Rei, and I will actually go into more depth when I actually make a video about her specifically when it comes to combo potential. But Rei's attacks naturally have a lot of stun powers, so using Ring of Fainting actually works in her benefit. So the remaining rings that I didn't really cover, some work and some don't. So, for example, Ring of Herculean Strength and whatnot, that legitimately does give you more attack strength. It's just, there's really no way for me to show you. I guess maybe if I did a boss battle and, you know, you looked at the boss's health. But, yeah, it does give you more attack strength, so it is a good ring. Ring of Good Fortune, maybe I just couldn't test it right, but I just could not feel or even tell that I was getting more drops at all. Maybe it's because I had maximum like items on me. I don't know if I needed to like have some like empty slots or whatnot, but all I could say is that I couldn't really get this ring to work. So if it actually does work and you guys actually vouch for it, I'll definitely pin that in the comments. But from most of my testing, I just could not get this thing to work, no matter if I had 1 ring or 2 rings. But who knows? We'll see if anyone actually has a more quantifiable way of demonstrating that this is a good ring. I mean, on paper it sounds great. You get more items, so you could spam items throughout the level and get them back. But yeah, from my testing, it's really hard to quantify that. Ring of Flight makes it easier to dodge an enemy's attacks. Again, there really is no way for me to demonstrate how well this works, but it does work. Just, you know, put it on and just start mashing dodge and you'll feel it. It's just, it's really hard to show you. It's more of a feeling kind of effect. And the final ring, Ring of Training, this definitely does work. Problem is that my characters are maxed out, so there's really no way for me to show you how much XP I gain from with no rings compared to with the rings. And I will definitely say, once you unlock this ring, which you have to unlock it, it's not very hard, but yeah, unlock this ring and slap that on your characters. Make sure you have 2 of them. That way you get way more experience and you can max out your characters a lot faster. Alright everybody, that about does it for this video. At least I was able to make it very short and not too long. So yeah. Alright, well, thanks to my Patreons and Twitch subscribers, Identity Glitch and Watch TV 45. Thank you guys for your contribution to the channel. I might be streaming after this video is over, we'll see, but if not today, I will be streaming tomorrow, and I will be streaming Oneechanbara Origins, doing my Beast playthrough, or Beast difficulty playthrough. So hope you guys found this video very informative and helpful, and good luck to you on your playthrough. So this is GamePro24X, and I'll see you guys next time.